Hello friends, today's topic is very interesting. What we are seeing that many news papers are coming, many news is everywhere. We are seeing that many companies are not interested to get their work done from China, or many industry base are shifting from China to other countries. At the same time, due to this lockdown, many changes are happened. Our style of functioning, our system of living is going to change. With this change, there will be some changes for the printing industry also. What we have noticed that many things are going to change. Before going further on the subject, I have a video which giving some numerics, the statistics are going to happen after post-COVID. So I would like to share that.
After COVID-19, what will happen to India? It's unbelievable but true. There might be three types of economic curves in India: V curve, U curve or L curve. Industries like e-commerce industry, entertainment industry, logistics and delivery industry, video conferencing app development industry, non-cyclical industry and pharmaceutical industry will grow. Non-cyclical business deals with the sale of the product like toothpaste, soap, shampoo, grocery, cosmetics and alcohol, as these are always in demand. The pharmaceutical business is said to have an inelastic state of nature as it increases and decreases with demand. Industries which are going to have huge financial crisis will be airlines, travel, cruise, investment banking, economy and share market, tourism, oil and gas, construction, mining, retail, employment service, professional sports business, cinema distribution, that is cineplexes and multiplexes, salon, food, leisure, hospitality. Other than these, businesses like office supplies and stationery, gift store, printing, furniture, motor vehicle dealers, home furnishing, energy companies, private equity, venture capital, product manufacturing are going to face loss in their business. As USA is not happy with China, its relation is going bitter because of China's wrong statement for USA. This can be strongly felt by their President Donald Trump speech. USA can shift 60% of its business from China to India.
So this was one, and we have another one which says that many industries are shifting from China to other countries. So we can say there can be some silver lining for India also. Taking that thing in background, OSAP Inter Association organized this seminar.
An increasing number of global companies are pulling their factories out of China, and this is raising concerns that the trend could hurt China's manufacturing industry. With competition rising from other Asian economies, some say China has lost its position as the go-to place for global firms. Our Kim Min-ji reports.
Japanese watchmaker Citizen recently shut down its factory in Guangzhou. More than 1,000 employees are up in arms due to the sudden layoff, but the company says it's part of its restructuring plans. Citizen isn't the only one. U.S. software giant Microsoft has also shut down its Nokia factory in Guangzhou and plans to open a new factory in Vietnam. And with its Beijing factory also slated to close, some 9,000 employees are expected to lose their jobs. Industry watchers estimate that before the Chinese New Year, more than 100 large factories, including ones run by Sharp and Panasonic, were shuttered in the city of Dongguan, one of the country's main manufacturing hubs. So what has triggered the mass exodus?
Many manufacturing companies entered China 2 decades ago because of cheap land and labor costs, but that's not the case now. Also, the Chinese market did not expand as fast as companies had expected.
What's more is that countries in Southeast Asia, such as India and Vietnam, are stepping up efforts to lure foreign companies. The US, Japan, and Europe are also offering incentives, such as tax cuts and investment support, to encourage homegrown companies to come back. The trend has raised concerns that China's manufacturing industry, once driven by cheap labor, may be heading for a crisis. The official Purchasing Managers Index stood at 49.8 in January, falling below 50 for the first time in more than 2 years, signaling a contraction. Kim Min-ji, Arirang News.
So our option is that whenever there is a difficulty, we will try to find out the opportunities. So this lockdown may bring the opportunities also. Taking that in background, Offshore International decided to organize a seminar so that the people may understand how to export, if there is a position, if they get the opportunity, how they can export. We invited here the top print exporter from India. I think nobody is above them. It is the topmost panel is there. They will let you know how you can be capable to export, what are the requirements, and what are the difficulties they are facing while exporting. For this webinar, we have very intelligent Dr. T.K.S. Lakshmi Priya. She says that I'm proud to be a printer. She is the head of department at Avinashilingam University. So we invited her to moderate this webinar. So, not taking much time, I will request Dr. Lakshmi Priya to start the proceeding of today's webinar. Dr. Lakshmi Priya, please.
Good morning, sir. It's a pleasure to be moderating this webinar. I welcome all of you to this session. I would like to say to the participants that there is a lot of points that you can take home today. Those who are already into the exports can have more ideas from the leaders who have been on the panel today. And those who are not yet onto the export business can get ideas as to how you can get into this bandwagon. So there is a lot of opportunity. Let's make use of this opportunity when you are at home during this lockdown period and start planning. So in today's panel, the first speaker we have here is Mr. Manoj Mehta. I will share my screen for a second. Mr. Manoj Mehta is the Director, Utility Print Pack Private Limited. He is a BSc Honours from University of Mumbai and a Diploma in Printing Technology from GIPT Mumbai and a gold medalist. His journey has started in 1978 and now he's one of the leading printers with great export business in India. He has a lot of contacts with international printers. He's been on the association of several Indian as well as international printing forums. So he is the right person to talk to us about the silver lining and show Advantage India. Over to you, sir.
Yeah. Good morning to everybody. Good morning, friends, fellow printers from all over India, abroad, maybe from Dubai, Bangladesh, Nepal, and so many places, Australia. Hello to all. Friends, I hope you and your loved ones are doing fine and keeping safe in this crucial time. So be at home and keeping you safe. There is no doubt that although the much necessary lockdown has helped India in some form, to the extent to slow down the spread of COVID-19, and it has the same time disrupted business across all segments of and industries, and printing is no exception, as you all know. I have been receiving calls from many printers panicking over the situation and especially worrying about what is going on way forward. How we are going to bounce back, what will be the business to be like in, how we are going to bounce back, what will be the business in short term and medium term and so on, how we are going to pay next month's salary, how we are going to pay all expenses, recurring expenses like electricity bills and all, and how. So it's a very panicking situation. I understand. I don't blame them. It is natural to be worried, and in such a times is also to plan carefully. Friends, in my view, the pandemic has actually created as many, if not more, opportunities as the challenges. It depends on the way we look at it. How have you ever seen an eagle flying in the monsoons? While most birds busy dodging the rains, the mighty eagle choose to fly above the clouds. My dear printers, all of us have the opportunity to be that eagle. I firmly believe that COVID-19 pandemic, India will have the opportunity to build an economy that is more resilient, diversified, and attractive to the global manufacturers and service providers. In fact, we already see it happening, and most multinational companies looking to diversify the supply chain away from China due to trade protectionist measures and rising risks all over. India continues to be among the top destination in Asia for manufacturing shift. Already a couple of big majors, including the Chinese manufacturers, say for example, Holitech India, they have a very big setup coming up already there coming up in a big way in Noida, are setting up plants in India. A big part of growth in the short to medium term is expected from telecom, electrical, electronic segment. Of course, the print and packaging industry will surely benefit from this in coming times. Even packaging has a very big boom going to come up. If India can make like replacements possibility, make land, electricity available, and all clearances, single window clearance in place to help companies to de-risk on a permanent basis, then it is an opportunity. India has advantage of scale. The government needs to be able to bring in further improvements in infrastructure, policies, taxation, and other plug and play model to attract foreign investments. But we have to be faster and better than other competing nations like Vietnam, Malaysia. As per Nomura, we recently read in the newspaper that only 3 companies shifted to India and 42 has gone to Vietnam and Malaysia and so on. Yes, that is definitely, we need at India, we need to have infrastructure, we need to have a very, on taxation, very much attractive to attract the foreign investment. Friends, the Swiss bank estimates the India's foreign direct investment pipeline has doubled. That is 175 billion revenues, 175 billion versus 87 billion year from sections like construction, electronics, infrastructure, textiles, and food processing. Pharma is there. So there is a more so I see a boom to print and packaging exports, a bigger silver lining for India. India has some of the best printers equipped with best prepress systems, world-class print and finishing equipment. Friends, I have visited some of the best presses around the world. And trust me, when it comes to print, and we are far ahead of the game than most countries. Printers in India are investing in the most modern and smart technology, and print institutes are producing talented workforce year on year. If you recollect last Drupa, India has scored a great, in last Drupa, bringing technology, bringing machines. Plus, we are self-sufficient in terms of domestic availability of good quality raw material, the understanding print and packaging jobs, right from pre-press all the way through the finishing we can offer from India is a far superior than many neighboring low-cost manufacturing nations. Quality nobody can beat India, I can assure you, friends, since we are also exporting. I can touch this as I have personally been there and done that, being one of the pioneers in packaging exports since the year 1997. Today, it is the time to make the most of this competitive advantage, and we have a technological front coupled with the, although increasing, but still favorable. Our labor is still more increasing, but still favorable compared to other countries like China. Also, the weak US dollar also in favor of exporters, and we must have this our advantage to grab the business worldwide, friends. We urge all printers to look at export opportunities, particularly from the Western countries, as the sentiment to de-risk procurement from China is at its peak. As the chairman of export promotion of All India Federation of Master Printers, I fully endorse this vision, and I'm willing to put forward all the requests to the relevant authorities to help promote print exports. Thank you. God bless. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir. That was a great point that you had highlighted. I shall share my screen. Dear participants, so Manoj Mehta sir has told us that there are more opportunities than challenges. Just like how the eagle flies much higher into the above the clouds, let's also think of it from a very high view. He's given pointers that government will definitely support in a plug and play model, and then we have to be competitive with the when compared to the other countries, and there are so many other advantages from the Indian side, and he is the proof of it. Big printers, good finishing operations, and so on. So thank you, sir. With this, we move on to the next speaker. The next speaker of the day is Mr. Suresh. Mr. Suresh is the director of the STR Sons from Kochi. He is the chief executive and partner, ST Reddyar and Sons. He has done his post-graduation in management studies from Delhi and also specialized in graphic arts technology at Singapore and Germany. So his company is a 128-year-old company. He has a lot of international connect, and he's the general secretary of the FEGPA and chairman of FCBM conference. And he has also done several other positions, both nationally and internationally, and they have received several awards. So sir will be talking to us about the opportunities for Indian printers and exposure to exports. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Lakshmi. Thank you very much for the introduction. Friends, morning to all. As my brother Manoj Mehta has told you, be safe at home, so we will overcome all these problems. Now, coming to the point of what today's subject is about, export. I have about 5 points, which my experience says that India is capable, but the question is how capable we are. There are so many printers doesn't know how to export, where to contact, how to contact. This is a big issue of that. Second thing is, I have traveled to so many places in Asian countries as well as the European and but Asia, right now, when you see the affected, most affected is Europe and America, whereas Asia is not that much affected, but still Asian countries have a big scope. The China, as rightly said, that most of the manufacturers are coming out from China. Definitely, it's an advantage for the Asian countries. Especially what Mr. Manoj Bhai said is right. 48 countries are coming. Most of them has gone to Vietnam. Why? It's a question is that India is capable. The only thing is we have to gear up our fellow printers, grassroots level, to educate them how to handle the export market. The second thing is we have to identify areas, whichever the printing areas where we got a scope for that. Most of the printers, what I've seen in India, whatever the neighbor is bought a machine, the ex-wife is also buy the same thing. He's never think about whether it is useful or not. It's not, the time is up. We should know what are the product is available, what are the products we can do it, we can export it from here. This is very important. Second thing, when you see our market, Indian market, only a small percentage is doing a good export from India. Whereas, you know, from the AFMB angle, we have about more than 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs printers in India. Medium, small printers, medium and micro printers. So now it's going to be, after this, what will happen? Commercial market is going, even now it has also gone down. Again it is going down. So here we have to think now, which area, where, how we can improve to do the job. And 2025, the predictor says that India is the biggest consumer country in the world. It's true. Consumer, when I say consumer, there are a lot of packaging, but again the question mark is, we are not capable to handle the packaging materials because lack of knowledge. The point which I like to raise here is, we must have like a capacity and export promotion. We must have a apex body to create awareness to the printing industry, the quality angle and the handling angle, consistency angle, and export market. They should find out the market, where are the export possibility market, where all the clients are there. If that agency is there, definitely it will be a boosting for the industry, so that the micro and small printers never doesn't want to go outside to find out about. Again, this is a language barrier. So this is what we have to request the government of India. We have apex body, and Mr. Manoj Bhai is the chairman for Export Council also, and we have Mr. Ashokan also is a what you call we have a chamber for all these things. But what we need is, we need what you call a joint venture or joint apex body to handle this situation. Now coming to the other point also, when you do export market, it's not that easy. Whereas the logistic part, excuse me, the logistic part is container, the taxation, and the government bodies, everything we have to take in consideration, which we have to ask the government to look into the matter. I'm sure that with all these things, definitely we can overcome this. Even now in India, if you take it books production, there is a company in Pondicherry. They're doing a PDF files for all over the world for books, and it is printed in China and other countries. India is taking only 1 or 2. This is shame for us. We have capacity. Why we are not able to tap that market? This is what we have to look into the market, and I'm sure that we can do. We can. And the only thing is, as I said rightly, we need an agency which will look after this, and from the agency aspects, we can do a lot of. As a Secretary General of Asia Pacific Graphic Arts, and we have done a lot of studies, and Vietnam is dangerous for us, because Vietnam, most of the countries, especially in printing industry, also have a very good setup in Vietnam. The fourth one which I like to emphasize here is, we must create a lot of vendors, small vendors. When you get an order, for example, if I get an order, a bulk order, I should keep vendors, for example, for pre-press vendors, for post-press vendors, and quality concept vendors, and dispatch vendors. So these are all the small printing industries with you together. So they will also get the opportunity, and jointly we can do a good business outside. This is what my personal view on that. I'm sure that India will definitely will come up, provided all these parameters has to create it, which our senior members definitely look into that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That was a neatly laid 4 point. So I will just reiterate your points. You have told us that what is our capacity, how capable are we? We need to analyze ourselves, and we need to identify the printing areas which have scope. And then, because there is lack of knowledge, there must be some apex body which can give us an idea about how the knowledge can be shared and printers can benefit. And fourthly, you said there should be small vendors in specialized areas who will pool together and provide it to the bigger companies. That was great. So once the first step, we know that there is a silver lining and advantage India, and then you've laid down the points of how it can be done. Now we have our third speaker, Mr. Amit Shah. Mr. Amit Shah is the Managing Director from Scan Mumbai. He is an innovator, and there are new methods of working as his highlights. So he is one of the top 10 screen printers of the world, and Sir is here to talk to us about the first-hand information on export procedure. He will also introduce us to the two new latest products that he is now venturing into. Over to you, sir.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Hope you are all sound and safe at your home. Today, the topic which every Indian printer would like to know, that how I'm going to earn my exports income. Friends, it's not that easy what it sounds, but it's that easy if you want to have a mindset. Simple is that. Because export always give you little bit extra comfort in terms of earning, little different way of working. All these years we are working in the same rut. Simple, if a commercial printer or packaging printer or whatever printing business you are in. But let me tell you, there's no procedure to start export. It's only one license which is required, is IEC, which is import export certification, which you can online log in. So it's that simple. But then why we are not able to export, or rather India is not a first-hand export destination for print and allied printing activity across the globe. So I'll briefly give you a little bit of SWOT, what I feel, according to me, looks like for India. A strength, definitely we have English-speaking, intelligent people, we have a lot of cost-effective labor, young country, and we understand software much better than other countries. What are the weaknesses which we have? Naturally, first is infrastructure. You're not talking about a printing of your setup. Even the overall infrastructure is a big question mark. If you want to send the container, you don't get the berth of container for next 8-10 days. And you don't have, sometimes there's a labor strike, sometimes there is electricity power not there. There's so many issues. So infrastructure is a big challenge. Second, which is we have to take a little bitter pill, that we are a very indisciplined country. We don't come on time. You go to China, you go to Africa, everybody starts at 8 o'clock. Here, 10 o'clock, 10:30, whatever. I mean, that's indiscipline. Third, we don't have government incentives for anything in terms of export. Some small incentives are there, but very critical handmade craft items, not a general printing purpose items. And also our own, you have to see our own backyard, that we have very poor quality standard maintaining. I'm not telling you we are not a quality printer, but maintaining and sustaining quality is a big challenge for Indian printer with chalta attitude. That chalta attitude, you understand Hindi, right? Everybody, chalta attitude is like, it's okay. It's okay, it's not okay. So these are the weaknesses. Let's see the opportunity. The current fight between the two mad countries, China and US, will definitely benefit India. Because of the COVID, many countries wanted to come out of China, but there's a big opportunity for India. If government and the entrepreneur like us make a big impact, then there's a big opportunity. And world wants China to get punished. They need alternative. If punish is just emotional cautions, but for the business economics, benefits, they want to have one more additional setup country where they want to even safeguarding their current jobs, maybe 5%. Friends, I'm telling you, if 5% of printing business which goes to China, if comes to India, many printer will overload with the work. That business we are talking about. So these are the opportunity. And what are the threats which we have? We have a smaller country like Vietnam and Indonesia, which has a much ease of operations, ease of business doing it. They will take over it. Second thing is, there is lack of consistency in a government policies towards export or a country with tie-ups. There's no consistent. If government changes or government rules changes, this is very openly I'm talking about, because there's no consistency of government guidelines. And also don't discount China. If they feel that the business are going away from that, they'll be very, very aggressive in price war, in twisting the arm of the small countries, not to bring business, this, that. So these are the threat. However, we as Indian has a very, very strong survival instinct. Today, if you see any what you call these big industrialists or big countries predictions, and also the big companies who predict future, printing is going to affect very badly, commercial printing. Are we going to sit quietly and going to say, oh, we are going to die or we are not going to do business? No, we have to find certain avenues. We have to side outside the box. We have to think outside the box. And friends, don't have any kind of impression that somebody will come in the morning tomorrow, oh, Mr. Amit Shah, this is I'm coming from USA, this business is for you, please take it. No, the opportunity is there, but you have to grab the opportunity by three very, very critical input. What you do it. One, do study. Since your time, go research on a Google, it's free, that which country export what. Also write to all the ambassadors of India in every country, which are the industry which are buying printing. They are ready to give you that information free of cost. Okay, in Ghana, the pharma have import of from maximum from China, second from India, like that. You have to do that. Third, try to do virtual visits of the market which you want to cater. Rather, I'm a rigid box manufacturer. Is my luxury goods are selling where, in which country? Maybe in Europe, maybe France, maybe London, maybe Dubai. If I'm in a label industry, if they are exporting, they are buying, I mean, is India's export potential, or rather they are buying label from outside, smaller country may have, they have no capacity and they must be buying that. So there's a big opportunity lying untapped by Indian market. But friends, please understand, you have to invest to get returns. You don't expect from day one your returns going to happen, because you will fail 10 times, but 11th time you may be successful. So be ready for that. Second, any inquiry come for sampling, don't be so stingy about not producing samples. Let you invest your samples. That means your people also, suppose you send a sample to Germany, they said the sample is bad. You can always ask what to improve, how to improve, where to improve. Show your intent, because the intent is very, 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 very critical for any company or internationally to hold your hand. Do you think China has developed in 1 year and 2 years time like this? The world has hold their hand, and they said, okay, come on, because we need a cheaper thing. They have the very, see, they all are very selfish for their own benefits. Never mind. But we as a country, we as a people, we as a printing industry should also be very open to welcome them. Sir, we want to try, no commitment to you. Only you tell us what to develop. For that, you have to print 5 colors, 7 colors, you have to produce, you have to make some punch, you have to make some dye, you have to create some samples. Don't be afraid of it. So approach to international market is, one is your mindset that yes, I want to do it. Second, study. Right now, I will not advise to travel across the world, because otherwise would have been much better for going for exhibition to see what other country, other people are producing, the quality of samples and quality of product they are showcasing in. It's not that in sitting in home you'll be able to visualize that. Third, see the quality parameter of your own setup. Everybody is king here, but king is of own well. I feel okay, I have the best. Okay, you are the best, but where? Amongst the all, amongst the few, amongst the one. So we come out of that mindset that we are producing better. Okay, you produce good, I agree. But is that product you are selling is able to reach to end customer meet? Second, are you able to produce it consistently? So for export, there are so many certifications maybe coming. I'm sorry. So post that you need some SGS audit, health audits, what you call it, the social audits and stuff. But that's part 2. You should not worry about that now. First, be ready with the small thing and don't expect miracle in a day. It may be consistently working for a year, year and a half, 2.5, then you'll get a break. But one break will open the floodgate, and you will able to learn that 2.5 years which you have spent to understand the international market. My personal opinion: don't be afraid. Printing is not a sunset industry. You have to create an advantage and also opportunity for your own business, and you will be the only person who knows that what are your strengths and what are your weakness. Work on both. You cannot work only on one. You know the weakness. My weakness is that weak quality consistency. If you want to, then what I have to do? Backward. And then strength. Okay, I have innovation. So yes, innovation I can go take it to the level. Don't be afraid of investing on quality parameters, process, machines. Not now. No capital investment now for at least for a year. This is my personal opinion. Till March, if the things are getting settled, no capital investment, but work in whatever machinery you have. Or Mr. Suresh has said that why don't we have a cluster, a small people coming in together, that if he's his strength, let him have a strength, and that's your strength with his strength become 1 + 1 = 11. Very, very critical. Like-minded people making cluster, like-minded people, but then somebody has to take a call to start it. It's not going to start automatic. It's not auto start. For Mr. Lakshmi just said, I just take few minutes. Lakshmi, it's okay. We have developed this mask, this shield rather. This is designed in US. This is 2-part. This is the pet. This is the pet. This is a protective layer, and this is the slot which is fits in all head size. Now this is not my business. So when I was talking about outside box, are we allowed to export? No. Manoj bhai, today on chapter 48, government has banned it. You said it that the other countries are getting benefit. Ultimately, they're going to open next month, next week, whatever. So we are ready and we are selling to Indian market. So outside box thinking also is very critical. Don't give me a setup that, okay, my machine size is 34, A3 size, I can print A3. But then if your job comes for A4, A5, rather A1, A2, A3, A2 size, you have other machines, other partners who can print it for you. Don't worry about trying new material, new ink, new processes, new method of working. Be having a more complex jobs. Try getting more complexity. Better the complexity, the better the earning. And export is not the mass job, sir. Mass jobs are few. Ask Manoj bhai, how much in packaging value addition with the foiling, stamping, the varnish and build up and stuff, then and then it gets money. Otherwise, there are hundreds of people who can do whatever they want to buy it local market. So unless you don't want to make your job complex, solutions complex, you're not able to service export market. So friends, my end is here. Don't worry about what will happen to my export. We will thrive. But for that, we have to make efforts and absolutely be rest assured. Once you start working on export, everybody will learn. And we are being a smart race, will adapt fast. So be there and be working consistently for quality. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That was great. Let me share the screen. So we have Amit sir starting off with the SWOT analysis of the environment in India, talking first about the weaknesses, which Kamalji will take up as a recommendation to the government, and then the opportunities, which was really very motivating. There were, of course, threats which we have to be very careful. There are international markets which can take away the Chinese businesses. And then the strengths were the amazing points. We do have a survival instinct as Indians. And you have given nice pointers talking about how we can enhance, start self-learning, go online, look at the import-export portal, and then talk to the embassy, make a virtual market visit. And then you definitely said investment has to be there to get returns. And to show samples, that's a very good thing, because obviously the foreigners would like to have a look at the sample to ensure your quality, to understand the products and everything. Thank you very much, Amit ji. We will now move on to the next speaker, Mr. Kushru Patel. Mr. Kushru Patel is the managing director of JAC Printers. They started off with Forbes in Forbes in 1984. The motto of the company itself is quality never goes out of style, and their slogan is we make a difference. They are making a lot of difference, and they have been winners all the way with over 22 international awards and 404 national awards. They are also into green printing, which is essential when you want to showcase yourself internationally. They talk about recycling of waste and also having a green environment. So Kushruji will be talking to us about the trends so far and the opportunities and challenges. So I think we are progressively looking at a very positive approach for foreign trade. Over to you, Kushruji.
Thank you, Lakshmi. Good morning, everybody. And I hope that everybody is comfortable in their homes. And if there are some pharmaceutical printers doing some level of pharmaceutical printing, I hope they are taking all the care and all the best to them and their workers. Friends, the world is changing. We are at a different process now in our life. I would like to break this 5 minutes or 7 minutes given to me in 4 different categories. First is trends so far. We need to understand what's happened over the years, then opportunities, then challenges, and a small summary by me. Trend so far is since 93, 94, if I remember right, when Manmohan Singh opened up the economy. We need to understand the same questions that we are asking today were open to us in that day. Two kind of exports, two kind of market opening happened. One is that the world started to think that India, being a very large consumer base, they started sending their products over here. They started asking us to print for their products, and that worked to some extent, but did not take up such a big growth as it was assumed at that time, because the mass of the country consumers who could really afford the international products were very few. Yes, our population is very big, but the consumers that can really afford these international products were few, so that thing did not catch on so big. At the same time, there were some companies in those trends when India opened up in 93, 94 who came to India to put up manufacturing plants. They kept manufacturing plants over here, but at that time the manufacturing plants were only with again the vision that they will supply to India, India being a very big consumer base. These things took some benefits. They gave some benefits to the country. Some companies came in, some companies are yet there. So a lot of companies went back also. These were the trends of the 94, 2000, early 2000 things. Today, where are we? What is happening now? Today, with this COVID-19, yes, there is a unhappy feeling. I would not say hatred feeling, but there is an unhappy feeling with China. And the world is thinking 2 things. One, maybe we need to shift to another country. Second, please understand, they are also looking at shifting certain productions in their own countries also. Countries are not only saying we will shift from China. Countries are saying we should also shift from China. At the same time, some of the production should also be reproduced in our country, even if it's on a larger base, even if it's even if it's costing a little more. So in these opportunities, what we have right now, we have 2 opportunities. One opportunity people are talking about is directly exporting a product. It's a huge opportunity, especially for printing industry. China had conquered the world. I don't have the figures, but I think they were doing more production than all the other countries in the world together also, and exporting all around. So that is a very big opportunity. What we need to look out for that in that opportunity, in that area where we are going to manufacture products more and export it around the world. One, as Amit also put it, quality. Quality for 1 piece and quality for 1 million pieces is 2 different things. It's like chalk and cheese. We have the benefit of making one quality product, but when we start going into multiples, like when we get an order of 1 million, 10 million, quality becomes very important. Quality becomes very difficult. Consistency is very important. So we need to improve on that. There is no question about that. Second point is quantity. However big we may feel, however big we feel that we can grow, quantities what China is supplying are huge. We need to understand that when the quantity demand will come, quantities will be much more higher than what we are used to now, because China used to really do big quantities. Third point in this opportunity area is where we are talking about exporting products is cost. Extremely sensitive. The world is extremely sensitive. They are not going to give you a penny more because they want to change to India. We will have to match up to the China cost. It is very difficult, but we have to find our ways how to do that. We may have to take a beating in the beginning, but we should do that. Fourth point, labor. Labor in India is available, but not as much available as China is. China is huge in labor. China labor strength is where we have 100 workers, they have 1,000 workers. We need to improve on the labor. We need to increase the labor market. We need to get more contracting systems in place, more different hubs in place. It's very important. Otherwise, we will get inquiries. We will try to supply, but we will not be able to supply. The quantities are huge. The time-bound deliveries are there. We need to work on labor. It's very important. China is very big into handmade products, into boxes, into pop-ups, into areas like that, which is also again more labor intensive. Where is a huge market in that, we can catch that market. Freight, we need to work on freight. Freight becomes a very important part. If we can't deliver in time, if we can't deliver at that price, sometimes we lose because of freight also. China has worked miracles in client servicing. They have got specialized people who only handle export and only talk export language. Bigger companies may be having that. Smaller companies or the smaller entrepreneurs may want that they should learn those skills, how to speak to people internationally, how to understand and how to do international business. Last point in this area is ease of business. The customer, wherever sitting, whether in US, we are not talking about only US. I'm thinking all the countries around the world should come to us. We need to understand they want ease of business. We cannot start throwing our problems onto them. When we are speaking to them, they need to feel comfortable. They need to feel happy. They need to feel comforted that I am in safe hands. So this is one area when you are exporting. The second opportunity that opens up right now is when these companies will start putting up manufacturing hubs in India. For example, let's take iPhone as a sample. If iPhone decides to shift to India, or any of the phone companies decide to shift to India, a manufacturing base, that manufacturing base, once they open up an infrastructure, they need a lot of material from the country. That is where our scope also happens. That is also a part of export. You may not be directly exporting, but you become a chain to the exporter. Right, first when they came in 93, 94, it was moreover to come to India to sell to India. Right now, the change that will happen, they will come to India to sell around the world. In the last 20 years, the world has realized that they can shift production and sell around the world also. So these companies which will come to India, I think for at least smaller printers, this is an area of growth. We become a chain of the raw material availability. iPhone needs boxes, iPhone needs books, iPhone needs papers, the internal stationery, I mean, a lot of stuff. So we become over there. Ease of exports for those companies will also be there. What are the benefits in this area at the moment? Once both these opportunities happen, we are looking at overall growth. Jobs will grow. Banking sector will grow. They will need finances. Transactions will increase. Overall, every single sector will increase. And that is going to be the growth. The last point, the third point out of this is challenges. What are the challenges we are going to face? Of course, we are going to face a lot of challenges. As I said earlier, countries are not only looking at shifting production outside China, but they are also thinking of shifting some level of production in their country. So that will drop the demand, what was there on China right now, and may give us a lesser demand. Ease of business is going to be very important. As I said, ease of business, special man contact, take the problem of your customer, take it onto yourself. Do not keep the problem on the customer, take it yourself. Labor laws, we need to get much better labor laws. Labor laws need to change, because if a company is handling 100 workers, if you want to get to the China quantity, we will be handling 1,000 workers. We need to have better labor laws. The government needs to work on that. Shipping issues. There are a lot of shipping issues. As somebody said before, we need to have ships on time. We need to have the ports on time. We need the ports to have. The ports will also have to grow. If the ports don't grow and we just try to grow, we will fail. A lot of funds have to be infused in the country. How are they going to infuse in the country is a challenge. Let's see what the banking institution can do and what the foreign funds can help us. Remember another challenge, my dear, China is a communist country. They work like a military. They work in a war zone. When they go to the factory, it's like a war. They work by that stipulated time. We have to match up to that. I'll see, maybe I will not be there. I don't know. These won't work. We need to work like very strict, like a communist country, like what China is doing, like a military-based action. Secondly, in challenges, again, China is very strong financially. They will pull all the handles, all the tables, they'll move, everything they'll do to try and see that other countries don't survive, the productions don't go out of the country. They are going to give a tough fight. They're not going to let go of this so easily. This is going to be a very big challenge. The last point in challenges are the other countries who are welcoming, like India. Vietnam is there, Thailand is there, South Korea is there. They are doing well. We can't just say that we are the best, India is best. They are doing also very well. So they are going to be a major challenge to us. We need to study how they are attacking the world, how they are trying to get the business, what are their equipments they have, and we need to match up to that. So these are the 3 points which are most important. Summary of the whole conversation that I'm having right now. Yes, definite, we have benefits. There is no question. This is a benefit time. COVID is getting us a benefit. We should catch on to the benefit. What do we need to do for that? Fast movements. If we say after 6 months, after 5 months, people either they'll re-get comfortable with China or they may shift to other countries. We need to move fast. We cannot be late. We need to hit when the fire is on. We need to hit when the iron is hot. We cannot, if we have a laid down situation, we will lose that. We need to strike when the iron is hot. And I think once we do all this, and right now we are in a tougher situation. There is no doubt about that. But as time comes, I think in the next 6 months or 1 year, India should be in a much better position. I understand that our economy, the world economy and our economy was already on a ventilator stage. But I feel after 6 months, India will come out of the ventilator stage and will be breathing on our own. I think this is the best option. If people understand Hindi, I don't know, but I would like to say that there is a phrase called "Muddai laakh bura chahe to kya hota hai? Wahi hota hai jo manzoor khuda hota hai." India is a fighter country. We will fight and we will get the benefit out of this. And I think this will be a changing time. 10 years down the line, India will be happy that COVID happened in the world. Till then, my friends, stay safe, stay well, keep well with your loved ones, and have a great time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. That was also great, encouraging. Let me share my screen. So Kushruji traced the trend so far. He said foreign investments has been in India from 19 onwards. So they were either as a foreign market or as manufacturing plant. There were pros and cons in there coming in. And today we have a next step, the COVID situation, where there are a lot of business opportunities. So here, sir has pointed out direct export as a big opportunity. And even if manufacturing units are going to come into India, that's also an opportunity for printers, because we can be a part of the chain, supply chain, being raw material providers. So that is a bright light. And the challenges that you pointed out was, one thing is the other companies might have a chance of shifting back to their home country. China may become aggressive. All other countries may try to use this opportunity. So for India, it might be a challenge. At the same time, we have to make sure that our environment is ready. Our labor laws, our shipping issues and other things are ready. And from the printer point of view, are we ready within the environment ability to tackle the quality ability to look at the customer problem, wherein the China is much far ahead in terms of finance and military regime kind of a work environment. So those areas that we have to address, and we have to do it very fast. Sir says move fast. Thank you, sir. So moving on to the next speaker. Our next speaker is Mr. Chelapan, Managing Partner, PM Digital, Chennai. Sir is a production engineer, graduated from the College of Engineering in the Anna University, and he did his master's in University of Iowa, USA. So he is basically a print solution provider, and he is a part of the Palniappa brothers, a very renowned book publisher and printer since 1940s. So today he has a passion for Tamil, and he is on the board of several committees which talk about technology development in Tamil. And he has also, his company is in the forefront of digitization, and they have been an early adopter of technology. So he has been one of the first, he's Asia's first procurer of the Codex digital enhancement equipment in 2012. So we have a person here who will also be talking to us about his own home developed software, A to Z PDF. Over to you, sir.
Morning, friends. Good morning, friends. I think I must thank COVID for bringing all of us together in this webinar. But the fact of the matter is, whether COVID or no COVID, India has to change its business model. This COVID has just given us the time to think about it. Otherwise, we were just running about our daily lives. Having said that, I think all my predecessors in the panel have spoken wonderfully well. They have covered almost all the subjects relating to export. And I would like to talk on a different subject. How does digital printing segment fit into exports? But before saying that, I just want to provide a word of caution. Like they said, China is a big fighter, right? And they will try to get back their business, and they have the resources to do that. But in addition to that, another major problem that we might have to face in future is that countries are becoming protectionist. Every country wants to protect its borders. And even now you can see there's a lot of H-1B problems going on, where even people are being sent out of the country, right? So this protectionism is something that we all have to gear up to. And India has a big market, a very big market. And even internal consumption is good enough. Though export does give a different opportunity, I think we should also seriously think about our own self-consumption, especially in the environment of protectionism. So having said that, I think I'll just talk a few words about digital printing and what possibilities exist in digital printing for export. If you look at the digital printing market, they can be broadly categorized into general commercial printing, wedding album and cards, which is a huge business here in India. Then we have book printing, basically print on demand. And then we have variable data printing, and then packaging. Now, how did the concept of digital printing come into existence? And what are the reasons for it, or the main characteristics which help the digital print survive? Is that they provide a very viable platform for short print runs, quick turnaround time, and variable printing. But this by itself is a big challenge for export. Like short print runs, if you're going to print in small volumes, exporting is a very big problem. And then quick turnaround time. If people want it yesterday, not today, and you cannot print in another country and send it to another country. So these two are bottlenecks as far as exports are concerned. And the short print run, what do you mean by short print run? Okay, it really changes from country to country. Like I remember very well that in US, short print runs are considered, even 2,000, 3,000 copies are considered as short print runs. Whereas in India, even 300 copies, we go to offset. Right? So short print runs is a big range by itself. And today, to overcome all these challenges and still export, there are two areas where I think digital printers can concentrate. One is the book printing segment, and the other is the specialized bundled solutions. It's not just plain printing, but it should be bundled along with other things like specialized knowledge. I will just come to that a little bit later. So to be viable for export, you have to, which has a lot of associated transportation costs, we need to have either a cost advantage or technology advantage, printing or non-printing. Okay, without this, you just cannot survive in the export market. And I'll just tell you how we can concentrate on the book segment. Most of the publishers today, they are moving away from printing in bulk and sending it across the world. They want to print at the point of consumption. So it's a kind of a distributed printing process. And because of this, some of the print runs come in the range of 5,000 or less. In this range, anything between 5,000 and 1,000 will be catered to by the offset segment in India. And anything less than 1,000, I think digital printing will set in. And if as a digital printer you want to get into the book segment, I think you should be prepared for high volume, low print runs, right? Which is a kind of a specialized segment. You might have to produce 300, 400 copies of each title, but you might have to produce 100 titles or 150 titles in a day. So you have to gear up for that sort of a production facility if you want to survive in the book segment. And then you also have this hardbound books, okay, where the binding labor content is there. So any short runs, even 500 copies, 1,000 copies, hardbound books, I think we stand a good chance of being competitive. And then another area is the children books, where the finishing work, the manual finishing work is required. You have things like pop-up to make books interesting for children. Right? So we can concentrate on books which require special manual finishing. These are the areas where one can concentrate as far as the book segment is concerned. And then the other segment where we can concentrate on is the variable data printing. Okay. Though today, I don't think India exports a lot of variable data printing material, but I think we still stand a good chance if we can bundle variable data printing along with other technology, either special software, like the online gaming is a big market. Right? And if you have specialized knowledge in online gaming, then you can bundle up your printing along with that. So it's a kind of, people with skills with technology, software technology will have to combine with the digital printers, and they can come out with a bundled solution. It's something similar to a cluster as far as the press is concerned, but I think in digital printing, you can bring in different modes, not just printing, even software can be bundled together. Like augmented reality is a big issue these days. Right? So these are the kind of areas where I think digital printers can look at export opportunities. But if you want to do any of these things, we need certain base skills. Okay, we need to have in place a good web to print capability. Okay, you just cannot have a manual intervention and survive in the international market. You need to have a good web to print capability, and your workflow should be very streamlined. Right now, most of the digital printers, they don't have a very streamlined workflow. It's haphazard. So streamlined workflow is essential. And then you have to specialize in finishing operations and skills. You have to have a USP, a unique selling point. Without that, I don't think you can be competitive in this market. And then your quality standards, you have to maintain a high quality standard and, more importantly, consistent quality standard. And then you need to have an error-free prepress right? And error-free printing. I think these are easier said than done, especially in the digital segment, but I think one has to do this if they want to even think about exports. I think it's a tough challenge to get into the export market, but opportunities are there, and first get yourself ready and then jump ahead. With keeping the caution in mind, countries are becoming protectionist and we have to be ready for that. And don't ignore the Indian market too, because that's a big market by itself. Okay, friends, stay home and stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That was a great detail on the how to have your production done. Let me share my screen. So, sir was highlighting the digital sector, with starting with a caution from there can be a threat from China as well as the other countries, that there is a big market both on consumption. So he listed, he gave a list of print products that can be done on the digital printing, and the features are basically short runs. So one may wonder how short runs can go into export. In fact, in one of our previous webinars, we had a person who raised a question about how she can, what would be the future of digital. I think you have an answer for her as well, sir. So when it comes to export, there are chances of looking at book printing, and everybody must have a specialized knowledge, you said. We have to look at cost or technology and take advantage of that. And some of the points that you highlighted were when we have to choose book production for offset printing, and when we have to choose digital printing for book production. And then you were talking about the options for books like hardbound, children's book, BDP, etc. And of course, your bundled up solution is a very good idea. The latest technology bundled up with printing. Just like how we get in the supermarket, when you get one product, you get another product or from a different vendor free. I think we have to club printing and the technology together and try to give an augmented reality approach, or for a game, you give a gaming app along with a product kind of a one is a wonderful idea. So we have to all gear up with a good press environment, which is standardized with high quality, and the finishing operations and workflow should be giving them a low production time. So the turnaround time has to be low. In this regard, I request you to give us some insight about your A to Z PDF software, sir. I understand you have developed a software in-house which helps in reducing the pre-press time. Can you throw some light on that?
It was this product was developed in-house by a one-man army, and that army, that single soldier was me. So we had a lot of problems with our pre-press, okay, in the digital printing segment. And pre-press is something which your customers don't want to pay you for. Okay. It's your headache. Whether there is a bleed in the job, there is no bleed in the job, whether the pages in a PDF are of different sizes or same size, the client is just not concerned about it. So he just gives you the job and he wants to print. So we have to sit down and break our head with the pre-press operation. And the customer will say, why should I pay you for that? So this pre-press operation is a very critical operation. And in digital printing, where your run lengths are so short, you cannot afford to have mistakes in the printing process or in the pre-press process. Right? So we generally wanted to avoid this sort of errors in the pre-press segment. And so we started developing a software for in-house, basically in the first place. And more than talking, can I just give a demo of a few of its features? Let me just share my screen with you. These are the different kind of modules that are available in the software. But let me just give you a look at how easy it makes for a digital printer. Can you see the new screen that has popped up, visible?
Yes, sir, we can see.
Okay. Now, this is basically one of the most common jobs that we do in digital printing is printing of visiting cards, right? So you just have to take the file and drop it in. You see, and the job is done. Okay, it's as simple as that. You don't need very highly skilled operators to do your pre-press. And then you also have possibilities of multi-mode pagination. Instead of having everything as just landscape, you can also have combined landscape and portrait mode. You can see the impose file here with the cut marks, everything. Okay, then I'll show you something which is interesting for offset printers. Let's say you want to have a folded signature, an 8-page folded signature. Yeah, I have an A4 size book here. And then I'm going to select the plate size that I need, and then the sheet size that I'm going to print on. And then you can have descriptions for the job and something to be printed on the plate marker. You want a color strip, just check it.
I would like to thank everyone and for your excellent time, and these are the beautiful suggestions given by everyone. Before going to the question answer, actually Khusro raised a point. I was just thinking how to narrate that. He said we must also be ready. So it is always we are looking at the government or others, and we are not ready. I can just quote an example what happened practically with me. My grandson, when he completed his +2, it was his wish. I took him from here to Hong Kong, from Hong Kong to Macau, from Macau to Beijing, and Beijing to back to Delhi. It's bad story, and at that time the railway bridge at near Panipat was under construction. I still remember while traveling in the Shatabdi, I just asked him, Karan, what is the difference you are seeing between China and India? See what he said. He said, Bada Papa, we have seen a road was broken and 3 persons were working on the road. Okay, yeah, it was there in Beijing. He said, sir, see, he said all the 3 were working. Okay, yeah, but then what? He pointed out towards the labor standing near the bridge, said, see, sir, see, Bada Papa, there are 100 people and nobody is working. So that is our system. Definitely it's right. When they need 10, we need 100. So we have to improve ourselves. For the jobs of overseas, we have to do the duties. We have to make up ourselves instead of looking at the government and facilities given by the governments. So, madam, we have the questions. Will you ask the questions?
The first question is by Vishal Narang. He says, do we see a change in prices of capital goods and consumables post-COVID?
Please say one sentence. Sorry. I think that for the short period, the rates would go higher than going lower because of many challenges that may come ahead. And later on, after a year or so, it can go lower. But in the meantime, it may be the same or it may go higher. This is my opinion. I close my point. Somebody else was giving opinion.
Great.
Same point I have also having it. I don't think the price will go down. Maybe later stage. That's what exactly he said is right.
Next.
The second question is investing in 4-color offset or a digital production machine more viable looking at future?
On the nature of business one is in.
Yeah.
But there is one trend which I can say is that there is a shift from long runs to medium or short runs. Now, instead of categorizing them as offset printing and digital printing, I always keep saying you should have the process in-house, whatever it is, and provide the solution that the customer needs. If it's a short run, he has to resort to digital. If it's medium run or long run, he has to go to offset. So this really depends on the market that one is in.
Manoj bhai was one of the first to install the digital. I know.
Yeah.
Then
In Bombay.
Briefly, you can tell us the difference between the person. What was the question?
As rightly mentioned by Mr. Chennappan, it is nature of business what you want to and how you want to go ahead. It's a difference of offset in digital, because if it is short run, definitely digital is viable, and rightly said as him, it needs to be bundled up, and the opportunities are vast in coming up.
There are some machinery being developed that is the inkjet based digital machines instead of this powder based digital machines. We have seen those machines working in Drupa and all other places. They say that per print cost will be much lower than the present digital machines.
Okay, they are the roll-fed digital presses that you're talking of, right? And all of them require a very high capital investment, the order of 12 crores, 13 crores, right? So I think you have to be sure about your market before you invest in these kind of machines.
This
and Madam, next question.
Can I ask one question?
Suresh want to say yes, sir.
Mr. Chennappan, the problem is now the capital goods are costing about more than 10 crores to 12 crores, but the killing portion is that click charges.
Yes.
So when click charges comes in, how we can able to survive? How can we give less price to the customer? And you say offset machine, 4-color machine, 300 copies is cheaper than the digital. Why it is coming? Because of click charges and the investment. What do you say on that part?
Okay, now fortunately or unfortunately, the click model seems to have caught on in the world, at least in the high printing segment. And you have to live with it. So the click charges the cost of printing across the world. Right? So the only way you can be competitive is to do your post-press operation better. Okay, you have your unique selling points like finishing, where you can really compete and show your strengths. But the printing part of it is all evened out across the world.
Most of the people are succeed in digital. I've seen the photo albums. Photo album manufacturers that succeed. When I was in Israel, when I was president of AFMB, I've seen one guy in Israel was doing about 10 machines throughout world, only photo albums, or 10, 3, 4. Similarly, it is happening in India.
Yeah.
Even I can say one more thing. In high cost digital machine, one should opt the model of financial lease or operational lease, because digital technology is getting obsolete next day. Every day the digital technology is coming up. So I think if we are going for high cost investment, then we must go for financial lease or operational lease, whatever convenient to us. That is always available everywhere, so it will be very advantageous.
Correct.
Just one thing you have to keep in mind, that 4 years is the maximum you can think of about return on investment.
Yes.
If it is anything more than 4 years, you can forget investing in that equipment.
Correct.
We'll move on to the next question. It's from Nirmal Goyal. He's asking, if some countries also install big setup of printing industries in India, what will be the consequence of our medium and big printers?
Actually, this is the discussion we are doing for the last 7 days. And in the morning session, I told that it is a time you will have to convert. Try printing something different or be big. That is the only answer. Definitely, this export business is good business, but again, you have seen these are the hardship. The smallest printer, we have some questions from them. I think they will be able to take it. But we have to think ourselves. Things are changing. We have to change. I can quote an example. Nirmal sir, when there was a letterpress, it changed to offset. Where are the letterpress machine now? So changes, we have to accept the change. We have to remain within the change. If we resist change, we'll have to stop the shop. So
it is not, madam. Yeah, it is not going to be that easy, madam. It is government high tax and regulatory stringent hold, and not small production cost. It's a good production cost. So it is not that easy. Somebody to come in India and set up a plant and compete with the people who is in India. So I don't think that is going to be a big challenge.
Can I just, there's one little example that I would like to quote here, which happened in Chennai. Right? Nokia had its plant here in Chennai, right? And they had encouraged the local printers, I don't want to name them, to buy new machines for their requirements. And then it so happened that Nokia's worldwide print partner decided to do it themselves. And these people were left in the lurch. So these kind of risks are always there, and I think you have to be prepared for it.
We'll go on to the next question. If some company of other country want to associate with the Indian printer, management takeover by purchasing share, will it be possible and will it impact?
That would be the roadmap ahead. It would not be that foreign. The previous question I was trying to answer, the previous question is nobody is going to do capital investment right now around the world. The situation is the same. What could happen is these big giants could want a merger to take over your plant or take over some share of your plant and join you and increase the production and then sell it back to the country. That is the scope that could happen. This question, this answer answers both the questions. That possibility is very much there.
I do agree with your point also, because now recently, about 3-4 months back, Singapore printers, they are also looking for printers in India to have joint ventures. This is going to be happen very soon.
That will happen.
Even we participated sometimes in Vietnam in one trade show. All of the people who came there wanted to have JV with India. You know, if you can give your technology and we can have a JV. You know. So definitely it's definitely coming up models.
Next question is from Doteji. Tushar Dote is asking, looking at the opportunities coming to India post-COVID, the volumes will be very large and will need collaboration so that pooling of talent, resource, finance and risk can be shared. Government needs to open infrastructure logistics as per global requirements. So unless the government steps in with a specific plan, this will not work. Please comment on how this representation can be made to the government so that we do not lose time and opportunity.
Nicely placed. I think the present MSME Minister, Mr. Gadkari, is very definitely he takes a very proactive approach, and Kamalji, with good office of Kamalji in MSME Ministry, I'm sure we can put up. Yeah, Kamalji?
Yes, yes, sir. Actually, you know, and for the export, they are very serious if the export can be improved. In a meeting, they said, we feel that the option left with India to improve the economy is that how much export we can make in every sector. So printing can be one sector. As we told them, presently 80% overseas print job are being printed in China. I told them if only 20% come to India, we can do the wonders. So they are, I think we will send the recording of this webinar to them, and I think the conditions may improve, and definitely they are looking at it. Thanks, sir.
The next question is any possible to form a committee for getting overseas business opportunity in southern region, especially Tamil Nadu?
This is what I told earlier. We need for India, not for Tamil Nadu.
Are we forming other plans to form?
We have to form. I think Kamalji can put some highlights on this.
Even Kamalji, let me add to this. Then you can see. Capexil is listing so many opportunities. Always in their list, somebody is required this, that in printed products or paper or whatnot. So, as rightly told, even by Amit, that we should check with all consulates on their list that what is the requirement of, say, Uganda or Nairobi or Ghana or whatever countries. We definitely get them. They are very cooperative in this regard, their commerce segment. So definitely, I think one has to have a good work on Google, or, you know, as mentioned in past, so many speakers.
Sir, in this regard, I would like to add that German embassy has agreed to open a virtual office for printing. So we can have a virtual office in the embassy. The order can be collected by them and sent to India. It is just under consideration, but the ambassador was very keen. He said the European printing job can be converted if we open a virtual office in embassy. So we can talk to other countries also. There can be virtual offices for printing industry. Yeah, Kishore sir wanted to say.
Yeah, Kamalji, virtual office in Sri Lanka, neighboring country Sri Lanka already started. Rightly, we must have some agency to take care of the print products from abroad to come to India.
Yes, sir. Kushal sir wanted to say something. Yeah.
No, this virtual ordering and this will work, but the stringent quality control required by all these countries will be the major hurdle. Matching the prices will not be a major hurdle. The controlling to supply them the quality product that they are used to will be a major hurdle. We should not falter on that. Otherwise, we'll be in a major problem.
I also want to add that on this question, already we have a committee at All India Federation of Master Printers. Mr. Manoj Mehta is our chairman for export. Yeah. We have a committee to look after these things, and at the level of federation.
That's what I mentioned in my speech, that if you have any that kind of thing, you can definitely write us. We'll take it up.
Yeah. What is the ideal sales channel to pitch Indian prints and products to the world? Alibaba, our own website.
No, I think as Amit put it, go on the Google, check the sites, check the company profiles and consulates. Do your direct marketing. I think Alibaba, I'm not quite sure, but do your direct marketing. That's the best option. Through your website, direct marketing. Don't wait for people to call you. Website, you're asking for people to call you. You need to attack them. You need to investigate. You need to find out where the requirements are. And that is what Amit gave a good lecture on that. Follow that.
And shoot your mails to them and show your capabilities and capacity. Short video of your plant, what the quality, how quality you are produced. As quality is the essence. If you are getting the job, to the world.
Also, he said, one more thing, that the good samples should be produced and submit to the client. That's what Amit was telling about.
Even I see one drawback, Kamalji, is infrastructure. As rightly told by Amit, and even I mentioned last time also, within one ship gets filled at the port in 7 hours in China, where here it takes 3-4 days. Even they are not getting berth for 3-4 days to enter, and then container will go. So it total 7 days entire. And that happens in 7 hours in China. So, and even Amit was telling that if I want tomorrow the 50 containers, I won't get 50 containers. So that all these things require much attention and government support on that, and definitely then we can win.
No, sir, as I told you yesterday also, our Minister, Mr. Nitin Gadkari, is looking at it. He wanted these things. Actually, he told that we are creating the waterways so that the traffic fare, which is per kilometer on road, it will be ₹1. So he is trying. That's why he wanted the suggestion of you all. If such problem are there, we are not getting the this webinar recording will go to him. That's why I wanted you sure this will be definitely there to solve it, because they see the only answer of this economy is export. So it is up to them.
It's the pods that they need to create, closer pods and faster pods.
Yes, sir.
That is what they need to create. You're right on that.
Sir, we requested them to create some warehouses so that if we are sitting not near so you are in Mumbai, very near to sea, but we are in north, and the sea is very far away, the transportation cost is much. We requested them to create some warehouses. We can drop our material to that warehouses, and from warehouse to that port, government should take care. They are looking at that also.
But Kamalji, here there is a catch. Here nowadays, what government does, and respected Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi, 8 o'clock he speaks and 12 o'clock it's shut. So for example, we have procured so many masks for our customers in XYZ countries, and it is lying in DHL to go, and while passing customs, they says Prime Minister has already declared, sir, we cannot send your goods. So it should not be overnight, you know, it should give breathing space, 2-3 days. Then they can ban. Otherwise, we are let all manufacturers or exporters are at loss, you know. So I think that all loopholes and all this thing is very much taken care of by government of India.
Sure, so all your sentiment will be sent to them. Next question I will have to take. This is from Nirmal Gol. Can anybody and enlighten the role of printing cluster for the purpose of export? Gol sir, cluster is the only answer for survival of the small and micro printers. There are two things: either they should produce different or form a cluster so that it can be economical for production. For export also, you need to be global competitive, not in India. There will be quotation from other countries also. You should be able to make them. So for that big machinery, big setup, as have been told by our panelists, they said that cluster is required for big production at most economical rates.
Sir said about Pondicherry company. What was that?
Oh, that's there's a Intrax company called Intrax Company in Pondicherry, and husband and wife is running a software company. About 300 people are working, and that company is producing PDF files for all different languages in the world and supplying to the different universities and different publishers. Now, all these items is printed, 80% printed in China. Whereas this is the only company, is doing that's very, very, very. I've seen this company, and they're doing a fantastic job. A little bit here and there, India is doing it. That's all.
But that company could be the leader to give leads to the other people in the country, no?
That they are not they are not supposed to expose themselves. That's what their condition has been given by the publishers. It has the
case.
Back to the
I got it, Suresh. I think it is a pre-press studio. They are getting the job work done for American people or whoever it is. You know,
all over
the main company distributes the work. Only pre-press work in all languages is done at Pondicherry by this pre-press studio. The same way we are doing for major world market, all packaging designs and processing also. Even we send file to China also. They are not ESCO aware. They are not competent with such kind of software. They don't invest. We send printable file, they print straight. So that's how we are also making world a smaller place to work.
So that market, what I'm trying to say, these are the people who can able to guide that Indian printers can take over this printing order. Whereas when Manoj Bhai is doing a beautiful job, as similar way that the guy from Body is doing the job, all this is going outside of India. If at least 10% or 5% we get it in Indian market, definitely all the printers will get printed. That's what I feel.
Next, madam.
The next question. Many cluster printing projects happen in many regions. And why not a cluster for offset plate manufacturing?
So cluster is the choice of the person together. So it can be, if he is interested, he can get 20 people and form the cluster. Cluster can be made for any industry, not only for printing. But if anybody is interested, 20 people are required. Now it is to be registered under Section 8. So those all 20 must have 3 years background. Their balance sheet is required, and they must be in the same trade, similar or same. See, for plate making, printer can be there, binder also can be there, pre-press owner can be there. So similar trade or same trade. 20 people with a minimum background of 3 years. You have to give a 3 year balance sheet. So it's not a problem. So if anybody feels that they can form a cluster, it's a wonderful idea. They can do it.
Sir, Kumarasamy sir from Tirupur is there.
Yeah.
Right now in Tirupur, most of the exporter getting from most of the packaging material from China. After COVID, will there be any major change can we accept?
Actually, I will have to answer. Since many countries opted not to do business with China, but for your information, India has not opted. There is no statement from Indian companies or Indian government as if now. So hope for the we are getting the things till now.
I think here the support from government of India is required on many materials which is not available in India. We are importing, but we are paying very high duty, you know, and that is why they are importing directly to Tirupur. For example, Marks and Spencer or Dabnams or so many. Tirupur is catering entire world rather on April. So what after paying duty on all this, it is and we manufacture here. It is very cost effective, you know. So they are getting directly from there. So government of India support is required as far as duty relaxation is concerned. Business will not go out of India.
Then again the thing come about the local manufacturer. They approach the government and the anti-dumping duties are given. So it is both ways.
That is pity, you know. That is pity.
So we have a
but if something manufactured at the same quality, if it is here, there we can apply those heavy duties. But if something not manufactured here, should have lesser duties so that we can get our required material.
Yes, sir.
Now, Kushru, see block printing. In Tirupur there are so many flock printers, but the quality what flock printing we are getting, people will get from China or some very specialized, for example, plastic cartons, say from Hiplik or from Hong Kong or so many in China. So the plastic printing and material, mainly it is material. Printing is no problem in India. Printing we can do anything, you know.
That's a fact.
But,
that's a fact.
Yeah, but the only thing is the material, you know. There is and on paying duty on that, even it's very alarming.
Sir, big example is you can import printed books free and you have to pay custom on the paper.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, we have one very interesting question which I think every small printer wishes to know. It is given the which web chat. That's why it missed. Senthil Kumar, he wants to ask how to market ourselves in global market and tap orders. So how to market to get the orders? I think since you are the exporter, what is the way to get orders for export?
Suresh.
That's what I said in my speech. You know, you need some agency to be created in India, which they have to get the orders and to distribute to the small printers for executive order. Number one. Number two is, if any big printer is getting an order, they must have a vendors like these people join it together and do the business so that they will be able to handle within a year time.
कोई online site for export printing orders?
Yeah, is there any online site to as you know, there's a channel when we get the Indian tenders and we are circulating through the federation to all. Is there any channel that we can get some? We don't know what is the global requirement are.
Not that I know of.
Online.
Not that I know of. You have to do your own search, own survey.
On survey. There is no that way that you can get.
Sir, as per my knowledge, if you approach the particular embassies, they can give you the light, because every embassy has a commercial section, and that commercial section get these type of information. That's what I got from when we met the ambassador of Germany. He told that we are getting the thing that the people want to get, not printing, but want to get some machine manufacturing from India. Those are printing related. So they are sending their requirement to the commercial section. So the person, it can be the way you'll have to approach the commercial attaché. Commercial attache's work is only this, to fetch business for both the ends. So
Kamalji, Government of India, is we are always listing from All India Federation so many tenders, live tenders, which is for printers, and I think many of the printer is benefited, you know, from that motive.
That is local, sir.
Local. I'm talking of local only. Yeah.
Sir, today's webinar, they want to know from you from where you get the orders, how you get the orders.
Yeah, correct.
So thank you very much, all the panelists, and I will have a special thanks to Dr. Lakshmi Priya. She's done it fantastically well.
Thank you.
Thank you all of you.
Yeah, we are getting compliments from all over. Thanks a lot for all the great printing stalwarts. You all have achieved through lot of hard work. You are the role model for us, small printer like us. So people are saying for you people. So thank you very much, sir. It was a nice
Thank
prayer.
you.
And I will
Thank you, and we wish them all the success to become better than us.
And I will
Thank you.
thank you for the time given by these panelists.
Thank you,
Thank
Kamalji,
you.
and
Thank
let
you,
us
madam.
Thank
you,
you very
Kamalji.
much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
madam.
Lakshmi.
And we will hope for all the printers should come grow together.
Yeah.